Finding balance in retirement, next on Retiring Today. Welcome to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle. He's a certified financial planner, a certified financial fiduciary, and a retirement income certified professional. And today we're talking about finding balance in retirement because, Loren, we know that as people get a little bit closer to retirement, sometimes it can feel like a little wobbly, which really leads to a lack of confidence in all of these decisions that pre-retirees have to make in order to make this transition in a very successful way to retirement, a place that you've never been before. And now you're supposed to make these decisions around where you're going to deliver the income. What do you do from a tax management standpoint? How do you handle long-term care? All these things that you really never encountered. And that can feel really wobbly as you try to maneuver through all those decisions. So today we're going to lean into this balance beam concept, because really what we want to help you do is feel more confident, feel more balanced as you head towards retirement. But we're going to have some fun with the balance beam concept, and it's as perfect because your daughter Jace is an elite gymnast who spends a lot of time on a balance beam. Well, I feel like there's so many parallels between what pre-retirees are trying to balance and what we witness, my daughter's mom and I witness my daughter going through, who's 12, as she competes in gymnastics, coming off the heels of gymnastics season. She has 4 different events. The beam is what is the most precarious type of event, which keeps her mom and I biting our nails as we're trying to watch her go through these different maneuvers on the balance beam. And one of the parallels is she gets one shot. When she goes through vault, she gets 2 attempts at vault, and they take the best of those 2. At balance beam, she's on this really narrow beam. She makes one misstep as she's trying to do these back walkovers and these all these different maneuvers, and then that could ruin her entire meet. She could do all those 3 other events perfectly, make one misstep on the balance beam, and it just destroys her score from the meet standpoint. And when you're looking at your retirement plan, you can do all of these other things really well. You can have an income plan designed well for when you retire. You can have tax strategies in place. You make one misstep, one decision that's permanent that didn't go quite your way, and it can really impact all of these other decisions you make. So there's a lot of parallels, and it's fun to watch her as she's going through these different events, and she's been competing competitively now for 3 seasons. It's fun to watch her grow, but it does take years off my life, I think, as I watch her go through these stressful environments. Oh yeah, and that balance beam, it is a tricky one. Like you said, one chance. I think that's a really good analogy. So let's talk about some of the things that might make people feel off balance pre-retirees. That's not Jace, but some of the things that they could be thinking about. Record inflation comes to mind. They're reading headlines about inflation. What else? Yeah, when you're talking at the coffee shop, you're talking about record inflation, because that coffee that you buy costs you more than what it did 3-5 years ago. And you have a really good feeling that that price is not going to come down anytime soon. After the coffee shop, you go to the grocery store and it's going to cost you more to fill up that cart. But then you also look at replacing a vehicle. And we look back even 5 years ago, the cost of that replacement vehicle was significantly less than what it is right now. And then you think about healthcare costs and how are you going to manage the potentially $300,000 to $350,000 healthcare costs from the age of 65 to the end of your retirement. All of these come into play. How are we going to maneuver through the lifestyle piece, which is all the fun stuff that you want to do in retirement, but yet account for some of these hurdles along the way as well? Another thing that comes to mind is the markets. You kind of watch the markets go up and down. That might make you feel more off balance as you get ready to draw on those accounts that might be heavily invested in the markets. Anytime you turn on a business channel, they're talking about these markets, and they're talking about the wild maneuvers, the wild movements of these markets, and all you're thinking about is what is happening to your 401k plan, what is happening to your IRA, your retirement savings, because that is what is going to fuel your income, which is going to enable you to do the things that you want to do in retirement. So as a part of your overall retirement plan, how do you create a portfolio that is recession resistant, can deliver the income that you want to help with your lifestyle, time and time again, year over year over year? On average, we go through recessions every 5 to 6 years. So it is going to be a part of your retirement experience, and you can either
kind of coast through it and go with the ups and the downs of those recessions, or you can put together a very deliberate plan to make sure that you can deliver that lifestyle even though we go through these recessions throughout the course of retirement.
And as people are feeling off balance, one way they sometimes try to get back on balance is to get into some safer investments, maybe take some money out of the market and get into a safer investment. And a lot of times people have looked at bonds traditionally to do that.
It's very tempting, especially where we are right now with interest rates. We're in an interest rate environment that we have not been in for the last 20 years, where interest rates are really high. So when you're trying to deliver income to you in a consistent, predictable way, looking at bonds or CDs, bank types of investments is really tempting. But we have a cautionary tale of why we need to look long-term in our income plan and not just focus on the short term. And we have an example. We have our hypothetical retiree. Her name is Jill. And Jill has just retired. She's extremely excited about all the things that she now gets to do in retirement, but she's trying to come up with her income plan. What is her income solution? And she's looking at the environment. She's looking at the stock market and how crazy it has been up and down over the last 5 years. And she's saying, I need predictable income from the portfolio that I have. And Jill has saved $500,000 of retirement savings. So she's done a really good job of savings. She's not interested in the roller coaster ride of the market, and she needs $17,000 a year to produce the lifestyle that she wants to have in retirement. Now, this is in addition to her Social Security income, and she has a small pension as well. So $500,000, she needs $17,000 a year. She doesn't want to be in the roller coaster markets. She wants that predictable income. So she's looking at interest rates high, and she's saying, where can I go to protect my $500,000 and then also deliver at least $17,000 a year? So she invests in a 5-year treasury. It could also be a CD at the bank because those are high right now as well. But she's choosing an even safer investment, a 5-year treasury. She knows that $500,000 isn't going to go south over the course of that 5-year period, and she's just living off the interest. 3.5% off of the $500,000 will deliver her not only $17,000, but $17,500 per year, 5 years guaranteed. So in this case, she actually has an income surplus of $500 from her retirement savings of $500,000. So right now, Jill's feeling good. She accomplished both of her main investment goals: deliver predictable, sustainable income for the next 5 years and make sure that the $500,000 does not go backwards. But wait, because 5 years later, that bond matures, and now she takes that $500,000 she gets back from investing in that treasury, and she has to figure out what to do with it now. Her goals haven't changed. She still needs income, and she still does not want to lose off of that $500,000. Interest rates are down, so instead of receiving the 3.5% interest on her investment, she is going to be able to get about 1%. The 1% is going to produce $5,000 a year for that same 5-year, $500,000 investment, which means now she does not have an income surplus. She has an income gap of about $12,000, which that will directly impact Jill's lifestyle. And that's why when you are considering your income plan, you have to think short term. Cover your short-term expense needs, but you also need to think long-term, and we have to be really creative in this environment and not just go to the tempting high interest rate, higher yield type investments that have these shorter-term maturities on them, because most people think interest rates are going to go down before they go up, especially over the next 6 to 18 months. And if you're investing in something that is maybe 3.5%, 4%, 5% right now, what happens when that investment matures? We have to create some diversification and plan for now, but also plan for later.
And I'm sure people are wondering, okay, what should have Jill done is what I'm trying to spit out, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But I want to make one observation on that, because you stuck with $17,000, and we understand that if you need $17,000 in year 1 of retirement, by year 5 of retirement, you're probably going to need more than $17,000.
Yeah, we made that example very simple. What we didn't account for, as you aptly discovered is inflation, because we know that $17,000 is not going to cover Jill's expenses 5 years down the road, especially in the inflationary environment that we're in right now. So we have to build in inflation, which means she's actually going to need more than $17,000 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, which was not accounted for in that example.
Yeah, and it just makes that income gap even bigger, I guess, too, and a little bit more concerning. So when we return, we'll talk about what could Jill do besides bonds? What other options are there for building a recession-resistant portfolio? But first, we want to answer a question that we received recently during our online Journey to Retirement workshop. We call it Your Journey, Your Questions. It's next.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to merkleretire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
The Merkle Retirement Planning Team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning Team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I am Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle, and it's time for Your Journey, Your Questions. This is when we answer questions that we've received recently during our online Journey to Retirement workshop. Connie had this question. What was the term you used to check if I could take out of a 401k at 59 and a half?
We call that the 59 and a half in-service rollover. And what that allows, most 401k plans offer that today. We talked about it in the online Journey to Retirement workshop because our hypothetical couple, John and Sue, they're over 59 and a half and they wanted to take more control over the money that they had underneath their 401k plan, their employer-sponsored plan. So by taking advantage of the 59 and a half in-service rollover, they were able to roll that to an IRA, an individual retirement account, have more control, more investment options, and then they could still contribute to the 401k plan and take advantage of what that plan is designed for, which is new contribution, because they got an employer match. That's free money, and they really like the free money to contribute to their retirement savings. But that's what we were talking about in the online Journey to Retirement workshop. 59 and a half in-service rollover. Most 401k plans offer it, so you will want to check with your employer to see if you have that ability within your plan. That could be a part of your strategy. Now, don't just roll it over because you're over 59 and a half. There are some disadvantages to doing so. So you want to weigh the advantages for you, the disadvantages for you, and then make that decision. But a lot of people don't know that that's an option available to them to even investigate in the first place.
And you want to make sure you do this one right, because if you don't roll it to the right type of account, you could really incur some tax penalties here, or taxes maybe you don't want to pay.
Yeah, sometimes people ask us, can I roll my money from the 401k plan to a Roth IRA? The answer, yes, you can, but do you want to? Because when you do that type of rollover, you will have to pay taxes at your ordinary income bracket on any of that money. So not necessarily is that a good thing for everybody, but you do want to be careful with how you do the rollover. And you also want to make sure that that check is not made payable to you. We've seen that mistake many times. You want to make sure it's made payable to the custodian, the company that you are working with, the Charles Schwab, the Vanguard, the Fidelities. Make sure it's made payable to them. That way it is a direct rollover, not an indirect rollover, which has a whole series of ugly consequences if you potentially do it that way.
And John and Sue do this in the online Journey to Retirement workshop. They take one of their 401ks, or do they both roll their 401ks into an IRA?
They both have the option to do the in-service rollover at 59.5, and they both took advantage of it.
Okay. And you'll have more online Journey to Retirement workshops for people to watch, and John and Sue will do this again so they can see this play out if they sign up for the workshop.
Yeah, the workshop is designed for those who are 57 and older and and who are thinking about retiring, which most people at that age bracket are thinking about retiring at least at some point. And the earlier you get started with your plan, the better off you are. In the online Journey to Retirement workshop, we go through all the different things, or many of the different things that you need to consider as you are looking to make that transition. Like we were talking about with Jace on the balance beam, you get one shot to get this right. The more information that you have at your disposal to help you get it right, the better off you're going to be.
And 59.5 is the first time you can do this, but it's not the only time you could do this, right?
Anytime after 59.5 is how most of those plans are built. Now, you're probably not going to want to do it every month because most 401k plans do charge you $50, $100 per rollover. So it's not a big fee, but it is a fee. And so typically a strategy will be once you do the rollover, the in-service rollover, then wait 12, 18 months, continue to contribute, continue to add your employer contributions until you build that account value up over the 12 to 18 months, and then do another sweep into your IRA. And then do one final sweep once you do retire. Because once you do retire, you're going to want to control that money. It's going to become an income source, and it's a lot easier to develop your income plan with that money underneath your name, your account, your control underneath the IRA.
And I think in that online Journey to Retirement workshop, we'll see John and Sue do the in-service rollover. We'll see them, what they do with the IRA and how powerful kind of having that money in your control all the way through retirement is.
Especially for John and Sue, and you're probably very similar, where you have very specific retirement goals. Underneath the IRA, what John and Sue do, and we walk you through this in this workshop, is they create what we call a recession-resistant portfolio. Because what that does is it insulates them heavily from the big movements of the market, delivers the income that they need so they can hit their income goals, they hit their lifestyle goals, but they also want to leave a meaningful legacy to their two kids, and creating that recession-resistant portfolio that really insulates them from the big drops in the market helps them with all of those objectives. And then we show you how to go about creating that portfolio on the workshop as well.
So you can meet John and Sue by signing up for our online Journey to Retirement workshop. Go to retirewithmerkle.com, choose a time and a date that works for you, and then get ready to get comfortable and not only meet John and Sue, see how they do the in-service withdrawal, but really see how they find balance in retirement. See the decisions that they make that help set them up to really, I don't know, stick that landing when they jump off the balance beam in retirement. It's a complimentary online workshop. Loren, who should sign up for the Journey to Retirement workshop?
If you're 57 and older and you're looking to transition to retirement and you want to make sure you get it right the first time, this is a great place to start. It's completely complimentary, doesn't cost you anything. It's a small investment of your time for potentially really big rewards and a whole lot more confidence as you're making these retirement decisions.
Okay, just a little bit ago, we had Loren talking about Jill, and Jill had that income gap. She used bonds. So you're probably wondering, well, what other options could Jill look at as she tries to stay on balance in retirement? We'll talk about those options next.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning Team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle, and we're talking about finding balance in retirement. Loren, you talked about Jill. You talked about how she was in bonds there for the first 5 years, and then when she went to go for bonds again, only a 1% return. And then there was a big red negative 12,000 or something like that.
And then we just kind of left it there.
Yeah. And anyone watching is like, I don't want that to happen to me, right?
Yeah, I don't want that, but how do I create what I really want? And that's what we call an income plan. That's a full comprehensive income plan. We call it income for now and then income forever plan, where what we demonstrated with Jill, she had the income for now plan, which it did feel really good. And actually it worked really well for her plans until she had to take her $500,000, reinvest it into something different, and the interest rates, meaning the return that she could receive off of the $500,000 safe investment, went way down, and it left her with a gap. So what do you do to help combat that? We call that reinvestment risk. What we need to do, and what we do for the families and individuals that we work with, is we create a diversified income plan. And we have different buckets of money that have different strategies around how they're invested because they have different goals. So as an example, we have an income bucket, which is going to be an income now bucket. It's invested very conservatively, maybe even bonds, maybe treasuries or bank products, instruments, investments that we know we're not going to lose money or don't have significant risk, but produce enough income that we need to generate the income for now. And then we have another bucket of money that is going to replenish the income for now bucket, and it's invested a little bit differently because the goals are different. We're not taking income from this bucket right away, so we're investing this with a little bit more risk, a little bit higher return potential, and our time horizon on this bucket might be 2 to 5 years. And then we have another bucket of money that will replenish this bucket as this bucket replenishes the income for now bucket. And this is kind of the income forever bucket. And it's invested differently, a little bit more risk, a little bit more return potential. And all of these buckets are synchronized to work together with the whole point of being, let's provide income now, let's provide income forever, and let's combat all of these other hurdles that can get in the way of delivering you income, which is the recession. It's recessions, it's inflation, it's taxes, all these other things that can really deplete or hinder the income that's delivered can be addressed through that strategy.
Let's go back to inflation, because I think that's one of the things that can make people feel off balance as they head towards retirement. In this plan for Jill, we know that $17,000 a month is not going to cut it for 20 years. So what do you do? Is these buckets include inflation? Is there something different you're doing to plan for inflation?
Within that bucket strategy, of inflation is accounted for, but we can't stop just with the investment strategies to account for that inflation. We have to actually deliver more income to Jill as we go through the years. So what we do within the overall plan is we say, Jill retired. She needs $17,000 a year from her $500,000 portfolio. Next year, she's going to need $17,200 a year to pay for that same lifestyle that she had last year. And then the third year in retirement, she's going to need $17,500. And we just keep going through that. But every single year, we true up her real need with what our plan is. So we go to year 2, our plan said she needed $17,200 to account for inflation, but she's saying, wait a minute, actually I need $17,500 because she has the need for additional expenses. How do we adjust that plan? I can tell you, it's a whole lot easier adjusting the plan when we have inflationary measures built into it than when inflation is forgot altogether. And now the inflation is a surprise to Jill, and she's saying, well, 17,000 doesn't work. I need 17,500. Now what do I do? Because she has allocated all of her money to one particular investment strategy, one particular income strategy. And that's why we have to build inflation in early into the plan. The number one risk of most people as we go through retirement is inflation. inflation on healthcare costs, inflation on the just the regular everyday costs, those fixed expenses, and so we have to address it within the plan.
And some people watching might be saying 17,000. How's Jill living off of 17,000? But there's some other buckets she's pulling from, or levers she's pulling from as well, right?
Yeah, and your situation might be different, but particularly for Jill, she wanted to make sure she wasn't dipping into her $500,000 because she wants that to last through the whole course of her retirement. So she had Social Security and she had a little bit of pension. So her total income was way more than $17,000. The $17,000 is what she needed to be generated without dipping into principal with her $500,000 portfolio.
Okay, let's pivot from Jill. I know a lot about Jill. Let's go to John and Sue because they're getting ready to retire and they want to feel balanced, and you see the whole process play out in that Journey to Retirement workshop.
In the Journey to Retirement workshop, we walk you through what John and Sue's goals are. Your goals are probably going to be different, but what is not different are some of the strategies that John and Sue implement in their overall plan to help them accomplish those goals. And one of the key benefits and takeaways from that online Journey to Retirement workshop is what are some of the things you could be thinking about to make your retirement transition going to and then through retirement that much easier and having a whole lot of confidence. Like, how do you optimize Social Security? You have up to 81 different options. It's a lot. It does not have to be stressful. It does not have to be full of anxiety if you know how to maneuver through those different 81 options and land on a couple options and then the single option that's going to be the best for you. And then taxation. It's on top of most people's minds, especially on the cusp of maybe tax rates increasing within the next couple of years. How do you insulate yourself as much as possible from the rising tax rate environment to make sure you can get the most spendable income from the resources that you do have, plus a whole lot more action items you can take away to improve your retirement experience.
In this next Journey to Retirement workshop, can we promise people maybe balance beam landing from you, like a triple twist tuck kind of a thing?
There's not a whole lot I can guarantee in this industry. The one thing I can guarantee is you will not see me on the balance beam in this online Journey to Retirement workshop or in any venue.
Okay, I guess you'll just have to enjoy this picture of Jace on the balance beam because she knows what she's doing and she definitely is balanced when she's on that balance beam. This has been Retiring Today and we thank you for watching.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to merkleretire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.